Hello, everyone. Let me before we tackle the homework first of all for lab and homework 2, and I realized the first problem I assigned you was number 8 in this thing. So I was going to go over some problems before we get to number 8 here. Okay, I just want to make note that I'm just picking up grading 8, 12, and 18. However, you are, like I said, in any of these questions I'm going over with you is pretty much fair game with it. The test is multiple choice, so the answer is there. So I just want to go over some few things with you. If you're in the 7th edition book, I am on page 106 in chapter 2, page 106. And I'm going to just go down to the exercise with this. And some of this stuff is pretty self-explanatory, and you can follow along with me and why we answer the way how we answer this is with it. So take a look at number 1. This is the number 1. Very simple. You have all the odd answers in the back. The even answers, the ones that are not available. So I want to go over this with you. With this. So the number 1 ask is for, and follow along with me. Mark the following statements as true or false. This is page 106 in the 7th edition, so I don't know what edition you have, 6 editions, the page other, but they have similar numbers with this. Part A says an identifier can be any sequence of digits or letters. Well, this is false because if you recall, our rule is that in my lecture notes is you cannot start with identifiers with a digit, so that's false. In C++, there's no difference between a reserved word and a predefined identifier. That is false. There is a big difference between reserved words. You can't do predefined identifiers with the reserved words with it, so that's false. Letter C is a C++ identifier can start with a digit. Like I said, you cannot start an identifier with a digit. Please look back at what is an identifier. Identifier are your class, your constants, and function, your variables, and your constants. Functions, variable, and constant at this point. Letter D, the operand of a modulus operator must be an integer. All right, this is true. If you remember, what is the operand for a mod is a remainder. Okay, operand must be an integer, so the remainder has to be a whole number, an integer with it. So that answer is true. D is true. I never did this online class, the book before. Let me try this. So the first one is false. I'm going to do. Second one is false. Third one, E. If A is 4, all right. If A is 4, B is 3. After the statement A equals B, the value B is still 3. All right. So in your in your statement that you just saw this thing, so this is saying B is still 3. That is true. Okay, so that answer is true. Once you set A equal B, B is now still 3 with it. So B in that statement, it still is in the memory of B. So this answer is true. Letter F, in the statement Cn, if you read in Cn, Y can only be an int or a double variable. Well, it's hard to really say on this one because you don't know what the statement, how they declare the Y is. So this answer is false with it. False. Okay. G, an output statement. The new line character must be a part of the string with this thing. So this is G. It's telling me the output statement is a new line character must be a part of the string with this thing. So new line character, remember what new line, NL with it, so that is true with it as well. Okay, so coming down to H, if you look at that the following is a legal C++ statement in here with it. So is this legal? The way how this is defined, yes it is. If you remember, this is part of your skeleton with it as well. Okay, in a mixed expression, all the operands are converted to a floating point with this right now. In a mixed expression, all the operands are converted. That's false with that. Okay, so suppose x is 5 after the statement x is equal to x plus plus. This symbol right here, I just want to let you know that this is a post increment. Post means after. Increment meaning you're adding 1 to it. So when you execute, J is execute when X is executed, y is equal to 5 and x is equal to 6. Okay, so y is equal to 5, but this now becomes 6. Okay, so this is a true statement. Okay, that's what this is saying. Okay, because this is post means after. So this inside this memory, this becomes 6, but the memory of y is 5. Does that make sense? K. Suppose A is 5. After the statement, this is what's called a pre-increment to A versus the X in J is post-increment. Execute, the value of A is still 5 because the value of the value expression is not saved to another variable with this thing. So this is false. Okay, this is false with it. Alright, so that's number 2. Let me go over with you some of these. Which one of the following are valid C++ identifier? So you look at this, okay, you can't use A because this is a special character. If you remember the rules for identifiers, text, numeric, alpha, numeric, and numbers or underscore. This is a special character. You can't do this. So A is false. B, take a look at this. This is good. You can start out with, yes it is. You can start out, this is valid. You can start with an underscore. You can't start with a number. You can start with an underscore. So B is valid. C, what's wrong with C? You can't start with a number. That's wrong. Look at D. You can't start with a special character. Look at E. Anything wrong with E? Well, in C++, you can do this. Uppercase, the first letter, this is valid. So B and E are the two that's valid right now. Look at F. 1 inch is 2. Look at this dot. You can't do that. It's wrong. Okay? So that part, you can have a decimal or period between the two here. Look at G. Weekly, space, quiz. The space in the middle. You can't do that. Look at H, Jack's homework, apostrophe, that apostrophe you can't do. Look at first, can't use that pound sign. Overpayment, this is a legit, this is good, this is valid. So in summary, you have B, E, and J. Okay, B, E, and J. Okay, number 3, which one of the following is a reserved word? Well, key word is anything that's a keyword, reserved word. You look at it. Keyword is a reserved word and defined by the system. A keyword cannot be redefined in the program. You can't change that. That was built in the compiler. So a user-defined identifier can be redefined. We're going to talk about the using namespace std with it in this case with it. So if you look at which one is reserved word, well, we know data types like double, a reserved word, right? So that's 1, C. And you look at bool is another true-false data type. So C and F are the two that are reserved words in here. Main, int main, okay, is not, believe it or not, int main. That function is a main function with it. So it's not. Pound include, okay. So again, it's based on the difference between what's a reserved word and a user defined with you as well. So going down to number 4, number 3 is the answer would be number 3. God, I'm reading number 3, but I'm doing number 3 is C and F. C and F. Okay, which one of the following are reserved words with it? Look at 4 again. Is there's a difference in what's reserved word and user defined. So reserved words, again, I said those are things that are defined by the program, and the user defined, you could change that later on, like using namespace std semicolon. That's a user defined identifier or a function that you're going to be writing. You will get a chance to do this in chapter 6. Number 5. Look at this. Are the identifiers quiz 1, number 1, and quiz number the same? Well, the answer is no, because what's wrong? Uppercase N and a lowercase n, that's two different things. Okay? So let me pause right now.